Hey everybody, and welcome to the first Your Star Trek story. Today we've got Goudeyman with us, and he's going to be telling us a little bit about his Star Trek story. So, Goudeyman, let's start you
Yeah.
off nice and easy. Could you tell me a little bit about your main character, his backstory, history, his ship, and stuff like that?
Well, you see, Goudeyman here doesn't have a backstory because I'm not into the whole backstory thing. But I'll tell you this: he's ugly because he's a default character.
Oh wow, I see it now. How bland.
Yeah.
So you don't have a backstory, so you're not really a roleplay kind of guy then?
No, no. You asked about my ship. I fly the TOS Connie T6, a very expensive ship, as you know.
Yeah, that's in the billions, isn't it?
It is 1.5 billion. It might be cheaper now, but still, it still counts.
Alright. So, you've got the default character, but a very not default ship.
Exactly. I know. It's like saying I can stick it to Admiral Quinn, right?
Yeah, I suppose you can. So there's some nice contrast there, just like our suits.
Yeah, definitely contrasted there. It's like yin and yang.
Sure, I'm yin.
Oh,
So,
okay.
how long have you played Star Trek Online for then?
I've been playing since beta. I've been playing since the game was a little tiny baby compared to what it is now.
Fetal Star Trek. You're a lifetime vet too, aren't you?
I am a lifetime subscriber, yep.
Yeah, so you're one of the OGs of this game.
I like to think so.
Would you say that you've got quite a bit of wisdom on everybody else then?
I wouldn't say everybody else, but I'd say I'm in the top 1%.
Top 1%. So, us other 99s, if you could give us a piece of advice, what would it be then?
If I could give them a piece of advice,
Yeah.
I would say don't quit, and although it may seem difficult to become part of the 1%, it's not impossible. You can make your dreams a reality
Or
if you stick to it.
you could just increase the amount of people playing the game, and then eventually you'll end up in the top percent anyway.
Or you can pay $3,000.
Well, yeah, let's plug the game. There is a new pack coming out in a few months with the new expansion where you can get a bunch of really cool ships. It's coming out for £99. That's going to be probably about $120, I should speculate. And that might be a great way to gear up. But it's not for everybody.
If you
So,
like Jim Hadar, it's your thing.
we're used to blowing them up for so long. It's really conflicted feelings.
I know it's gonna be confusing.
Hmm. So, Guyman, in your
Yes.
best recollection, what was the most fun mission you've played on this game?
The most fun mission I ever played on this game doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately, but you can look up the wiki about it. It was a mission where you were sent from Starbase 39 Sierra to go to another ship and kill a ton of Federation spies, is what they were supposed to be, I think. And then when you go back, it turns out that specific person that gave you the mission was actually an Undine the entire time, and you killed actual Federation people.
Wow. So that is an incredibly dark mission.
It is.
And that was your favourite?
And that was my favorite because it was something that Star Trek normally doesn't get into, but it's more like a war crime thing, and while you're responsible, you're also not responsible, and people are upset with you, and it's kind of cool. Although a lot of people didn't like it because it was kind of forced backstory, so.
Yeah. Well, it says a lot about you that you love the mission where you kill your own kind. So,
I know, it's great, right?
thank you for sharing that. So, we've got a really fun question now. Which event is your favourite?
That's a very easy question. That's the winter event, because what better way to break up the monotony of shooting space lasers than to shoot snowmen with snowball guns?
That's an interesting way to look about it. I was, I must admit, the first thought I heard when you said, oh, it's easily and obviously the winter event is, oh, because you're cold. Cold-blooded killer. Those poor Federation souls.
Are you judging me right now?
No, I'm judging you always.
May I remind you, you also played that mission.
I suppress it. So why the winter event?
I mean, it's just the rewards and the amount of fun that you get. I mean, the frosted boots are clearly one of the best devices ever. I don't care what any of you say. It may not be practical for like PvE missions and stuff, but when I'm running missions with my friends and I'm on newly brought up characters and stuff like that, and I need to go somewhere quick, the frosted boots help me a lot.
Yeah, they're a godsend for
And
that.
ice skating on the lake, again shooting snowmen with snowball guns. How much better does it get in Star Trek, a game about space and technology advancement? I go to a lake and shoot snowmen. Like, there's nothing better.
I must admit, I've felt the repercussions of the winter event a few times. I've spawned into a colony invasion. It's the first time I've done any kind of ground combat in months since winter, and I spawn in and I've got 2 winter event guns,
Yeah, it's that.
and I'm like, oh god, what am I gonna do? So yeah, really let the team down there. I was just walking around punching Hirogen. Yeah, it was quite the disappointment, but no, it was pretty funny. Someone laughed in the chat, so it was all worth it.
That's great.
Yeah. All right, so maybe a bit of a tougher question now, because there is so much choice nowadays.
Okay, hit me with it.
Which in-game ship is your favourite?
I'd say the TOS Connie. In terms of practicality and stats, the ship I fly is the best engineering ship that you can get.
Practicality. Practically getting 1.5 billion. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not. I'm not saying that everyone's gonna have it. I did say I was top 1%, but definitely the TOS Connie in terms of its specifics and things like that. In terms of looks, definitely the Odyssey class.
Oh, that's interesting. See, now the Odyssey, that's billed as a future Enterprise, isn't it?
It is. It's the Enterprise F. Yep.
Yeah. So I think it's an interesting angle. I don't think we'll ever see it in the TV series, but it does look the part.
It does.
It's classic Federation, isn't it?
If they had replaced the Enterprise E with the Odyssey class, I think it would have been a much better movie. All those movies would have been much better movies.
Wow. That would be speculation. All right. Now, this is obviously a lot harder because, as we've said, there is a plethora of choice of ships in games. I mean,
yeah,
it would take you probably a few days to look at them all in the different stores that they've got, the different events. And yet, I'm still going to ask this. If you could add one ship to the game and have it be prevalent, quite available, what ship would it be?
Okay, are we talking ships that are in the game as NPC ships that we don't have yet?
Yeah, so
or
ships that
any
you
ship
can fly.
from any Star Trek ever.
Yeah, so make a ship available to acquire and fly. It might already be
Then
in the
it's
game.
going to be a Borg cube.
Nice and easy, that one, isn't it?
Yep.
The Borg, as a species, have been in the game for its
Since
entirety.
the beginning.
Yeah.
Yep.
In fact, back in the old days, the original tutorial, you would spawn in on a Borg colony, wouldn't you?
You spawned in on a ship being attacked by the Borg. I think it's during the Battle of Wolf 359. It might have been. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So the Borg have always been here. And despite every lockbox they've brought out, every new expansion, all the new playable species, not once have we ever flown a Borg ship in this game. And I think that's a mistake.
Not even a probe. I'd even take a probe. I mean,
yeah.
Anything.
See, I asked this question, and I know that I'll never have an answer other than a Borg ship. But I'm really trying to emphasize a point here. If you
Cryptic,
make it, we will get it.
I didn't think they were gonna release the Vomp, man. That was crazy.
It's special because that is huge. That is a monster. I can't see a cube being much bigger than that. Obviously, the scale is maybe problematic, but you don't have to do the cube. You can do the spheres. You could even do the diamond.
I mean, in terms of scale, they already have the Universe class, the Enterprise J. So
that's true. They could do it. They could absolutely do it.
They could do it.
So we just drifted over lockboxes. You mentioned the Vomp. Of all lockboxes that have passed, including the one that's out now, which was the best?
I'd say it's the Undiscovered lockbox, and I'll tell you exactly why. Because they came out with the NX class refit in the Lobby store, which has an amazing console. It's really good. And then also the Prototype Dreadnought. And I'm going to plug my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Goudeyman, and I made a review of the Prototype Dreadnought, and that also has an amazing console. The Dynamic Power Redistributor module. And then it came with the Pulse Phasers, which are the best phasers ever because they're basically just regular phasers with a cool animation that sounds awesome, and they have the Disruptor proc. So they're disruptors that are phaser skinned, and it's amazing.
Yeah, I'd say everyone should absolutely go check out that review. It's probably the best Star Trek ship review on the internet.
Well, thank you. Thank you, sir.
So, yeah, I could totally agree with you on that because it was cool. Because some of the ships that they released in that, it's so obviously the NX refit it's calling back to Enterprise and your
Which was a
TOS
good
Connie.
show. I don't care what anyone says. That was a good show.
That's an argument for another time. Certainly not here. And obviously the TOS Connie's calling back to the original series as well. So there were some nice callbacks in that, and I think we all appreciate that, because linking this game into the TV shows, the films, that's what's going to engage people, really, because that's all we've based Star Trek on. Those medias. Now, we've talked about Star Trek past, Star Trek present. Let's have a little idea about Star Trek future. We've got the expansion coming out. First, I'll ask you, what are you looking forward to most about this new expansion?
Playing as a Jem'Hadar and a Cardassian, I'd say, yep.
And why is that?
Because it's something that I think a lot of people have tried to emulate using the numerous glitches that the game has, and as well as using the alien creator. I see a lot of people that try to emulate, especially the Cardassian. I don't know why exactly, but it's one of those things where it's like, you can't have it, so you want it. And I want it.
And now we can have it!
Yes!
Supply and demand, Josh. Supply and demand.
So where's my board cube again?
Let's not go there. So, you can now have the power that we all dream of. You can look to Star Trek in the future, and you can make one change, one addition, however you see fit. Anything. It could be an expansion, new playable species, new ship, slight change to the animations of the way you run with the frosted boots. What change would you make to this game if you could make one?
What changes would I make to this game if I could make? That's tough. I believe... Can I make, like, multiple changes or just one?
Just the one.
This is a tough one, honestly.
Deal with the rest.
If I were Cryptic, or a part of Cryptic, I would note the fact that the tutorial and the beginning missions of the game, especially for Federation... Actually, no, especially for Klingons. Klingons are difficult. Those are hard to play because of how boring everything is. But I would look at all the starting missions from the game, including the tutorial, for all the factions, and say, hey, these missions are boring, and they're kind of a turn-off to any new players of the game. You should do something about that. And I think that's what they should do.
Yeah, I think it would be hard for them to self-identify that, oh yeah, the first part of our game is boring. They're obviously not going to admit that. Or they might not even agree with it. But I think, certainly, the tutorial, most people's first impression of the game, should be something that really excites them, introduces them to all the concepts in a nice way that is by no means difficult, and it shouldn't take half an hour and a half to do.
It's about an hour and a half. It's like there's like 3 mini missions that are like 30 minutes long a piece, which it's ridiculous. It's way too long. And it's not even just the beginning. It's like I'm using the first story arc, the Klingon Wars, as a example, but it's the entire game when it comes right down to it. Everything before Sphere of Influence is trash, is literal garbage, and that includes even some of the remade missions in the Cardassian Struggle, I believe, and the Romulan Mystery, especially the Romulan Mystery too. That one sucks. The only exception being the Spectre story arc, which is really good with the Davidians.
Do you remember
and it's
the
very
excitement?
horror themed, and I like it.
The excitement of Nimbus when that came about.
Nimbus is terrible.
Yeah, I know.
It is literally 5 missions of... It's like 2.5 hours of your life just taken away and your heart being crushed because of how much you want to cry after being stuck on that planet.
You feel
and
so isolated.
When Uhura got naked even though she was like 50 years old. Like, it just makes me want to tear my eyes out and die.
And on that note, I believe we've managed to get through all of the questions. Goudeyman, thank you for your insight and for your story.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
See you next time, everybody.